Okay, 8, 6, divide. Fractions by fractions, and just talking off camera for a moment here, for those that aren't here. Yep, 8, 6, skipping 8, 5. We have 2 days of the concept. Today we'll skip 8, 7, and then tomorrow we'll divide whole numbers, mixed numbers, any numbers by that point there. Wednesday, PEMDAS day, quiz on Thursday. We had a quiz today on 8-2, 8-3, 8-4, that's done. Now we're on to 8-6, so next quiz is on Thursday. And we want to try and get everything done by Thursday, keep Friday. But, you know, once we're all off the board, then we can move on and do something else on Friday. Okay, dividing fractions by fractions here. So they have some of these, like in your homework, you can certainly solve them, the first 4. Basically, they just write out the problem for you. They got the reciprocal already there. So I'm going to move down to number 13. That's where I want to start this. 13, these are some dumb problems here. Well, whatever. Okay. So if we look again at our page here, we should notice that we're seeing nothing but divides all over the place here. And of course, that is exactly what we're doing, dividing. So how do we do that? So the name of the game is 1, multiply the magic 4 words by the reciprocal. I say this many, many times when we're dividing here. I'll say it again. I write it down a lot, and for the 5th grade, I'm sure I did last year for you guys too. Just flipping back into chapter 6 for a second here. There it was. Did we do reciprocals? Maybe we didn't. I thought we did. Maybe we didn't. I thought we did, though. Somewhere in this chapter. Well, no problem. So what's a reciprocal here? A reciprocal. Every number has a reciprocal. So if I write the fraction 2/3, and I say, what is the reciprocals? Reciprocals. Here we go. So to find a reciprocal here, all you need to do is you take your fraction, and whatever number is on top goes to the bottom. And whatever number is on the bottom goes to the top. So if I said, what's the reciprocal of 2/3, you would say 3/2. If I said, what's the reciprocal of 3/8, you would say 8/3. Right. The thing about reciprocals is when you multiply reciprocals together, they always have a product of 1. Always. Anything times its reciprocal will always equal 1. And you can certainly see I could cross simplify away, and there's 1 and there's 1. It really doesn't matter. They always equal 1. Okay? Always equal 1. Whole numbers have reciprocals. Like if I wrote the number 17 down and said, what's the reciprocal? Well, we can go back to what we know, like when I was multiplying whole numbers and stuff. If I go back to, where's the problem here? Like this. I'm multiplying by 9. What do I do with that? I put it over 1. I just make it 9/1. I get it in fraction form, and then once in fraction form, I'm ready to go and start doing. So same deal here. My whole numbers, I would want to put over 1, because now if I say what's the reciprocal, I have a number on the bottom, that goes on top, and of course the 17's moving to the bottom, and if I cross simplified. So all whole numbers, they have reciprocals, just like before, we make it over 1, and then you can just flip it around. The reciprocal of 17 is 1/17. If I say, what's the reciprocal of 52, you would say, right, because I could just put it over 1. And then the denominator becomes the numerator becomes the denominator. There it is, right there, my reciprocal. Mixed numbers. And I guess we don't have to cover them today. We can cover that concept tomorrow. We don't have any mixed numbers today, so I'll save that for tomorrow. And really, we didn't have any whole numbers either, but oh well. So I guess all we really need to know for the moment here is this concept here. Just whoosh, flip a roodle doodle. If I have a proper fraction, 7 over 4, what's the reciprocal of that? 4 over 7. Right, it goes any which way here. And again, easy to see. I mean, any reciprocals multiply and get a product of 1, always. If you don't get a product of 1, you don't have a reciprocal. You just got numbers on a piece of paper. So that's how we do our reciprocal. So if we go up to number 13 here, directions say, again, we never actually do dividing when we're dividing fractions. Kind of one of those odd but true type of scenarios here. So what we have to do is we must rewrite this as a multiplying problem. And then we'll solve it the same way we did problems in 8.2, 8.4, and 8, whatever, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4 that we did there. So when I multiply, it's just like reading a book. I multiply by the reciprocal. So my 5/8, rewriting this problem here, is still 5/8. That just comes with me here because I haven't gotten to the division symbol yet. But now, here it goes. There's my division symbol. And of course, our divisions, we're turning them all into multiplying. We're going to rewrite every single one of these problems as multiplying problems and then solve them the same. So multiply by what? The reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 5/8? Right, because the denominator becomes my numerator and my numerator becomes my denominator. Now, it should look very similar to what we've been working on thus far this chapter, multiplying fractions. I will cross simplify where I can. Should probably realize pretty quick in the game here that this is going to be an answer of 1. And again, anything divided by itself always equals 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 5/8 divided by 5/8 is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. Okay, let's look at number 15. It says 5/24 divided by 5/12. So first thing I should see, it's a division problem. I know that means I'm going to need to rewrite it because I'm not going to solve any type of division thing with fractions here. Huh? So first, just write out the number that I start. That number doesn't change. And when I get to my division symbol, turning it to multiply, and then multiply by the reciprocal. What's next to it? 5/12. What's the reciprocal of 5/12? 12 over 5. Right. And there we go. Now we go ahead, we cross simplify where we can. 5 divided by 5. 12 and 24 both divided by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 24 divided by 12 is 2. Bring it on home. Multiply the numerators. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Final answer, 1/2. Multiplied by the reciprocal, solve the multiplying problem that we have. All right. I guess last one from me, and then I'll give you guys some. 16. 6/13 divided by 3/26. Go a little quicker through it here now. But same exact deal. Convert to multiply. Looking to cross simplify then. Always trying to cross simplify. If you do your cross simplifies, your final answer should come out nice and simplified for you. Won't have to worry about that at all at the end. So rewrite as a multiply. We're not dividing, we're multiplying. What do I multiply by? The reciprocal. Reciprocal of 3 over 26, 26 over 3. Cross simplify, 3 and 6 both divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, 6 divided by 3 is 2. 13 and 26, both of them divide by 13. 13 divided by 13 is 1, 26 divided by 13 is 2. Multiply my numerators, multiply my denominators, simplify as necessary. Final answer, 4. Good?
Yep.
Okay. Here you go. For you guys, number 18, 1/8 divided by 1/5. 20. 9/28 divided by 3/7. 22. 9/10 divided by 6/7. 24. 1/11 divided by 1/6. In the homework, 5, 6, and 7, you can just solve like normal. They ask you to draw a diagram in your homework. You don't have to draw a diagram. No diagram required. 1 through 4 basically look like this. They basically just write out the multiply problem for you. They've rewritten it, and then so just essentially just solve these here. X and plug in, but in your homework, just solve the multiply problem they give you there. Shouldn't be hard to do. 5, 6, and 7, no diagram required. Just solve them. 8 through 13 are what we're doing now, and then a couple word ones. So should be able to do them all.
Do we simplify? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 22. That's the one.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Anyone you want? What? You want any of these 4? 18? Okay, I'll help you do it fast. Savannah, you can do 18 out here. Evangeline, 20. 22, Sig. 24, Sierra. Okay. So first, we want to rewrite it as a multiply problem.
So we're going to do 1. You're going to switch the 1 and 5.
Right. So then I got 5 over 1.
5 over 1.
Yep.
And then you do 8 divided by 5.
The biggest thing, the only number that divides into both of these numbers is 1. So therefore, we don't have to cross, there's nothing to cross. If the only thing you can divide into the numbers is 1, then you don't need to do this cross-off thing. But if you can divide something else, like 2 or 3 or 5 or something into them, well, then you can go ahead and do it. But if it's dividing by 1, it's as small as it's going to get for us. So we're ready to solve it.
And then 1 divided by 1 is 1.
Nope, now we're going to solve, we don't care about this anymore, we're done with it. The only thing that did us is we changed it to our multiply problem. So then we multiplied by the reciprocal. Reciprocal of 1 over 5, 5 over 1. So I can just multiply the two top numbers.
Which is 5.
Yep, 1 times 5 is 5, and on the bottom,
8.
and there's my answer. 5 over 8. Good job, Savannah. Good work. Evangeline, number 20.
So first you're going to rewrite it as 9/28 times 7/7. And then you can cross simplify. 3 turns into 1 and then 9 turns into 3. And then 7 turns into 1 and 28 turns into 4.
Yep.
And then that equals 3 volts.
That's it. Yep, cross simplify, multiplied by the reciprocal, put it around there, cross simplify away. Good stuff here. Sig,
Okay, so
Yep,
And then you can divide 3 into 9 and 6.
yep,
So 9 becomes a 3, and 6 becomes a 2. And then 3 times 5 is 21, and 10 times 2 is 20. And that can be simplified into 1 and 1/20.
right. 1 and 1/20th, what we're looking for there. Good, yep, nice job cleaning it up. I'll never represent our answers improper, always mixed up there. Sierra?
So then you rewrite it as multiplication problem.
Yep.
Which is 1/11, and then you do the reciprocal, so it'd be 6/1.
Yep,
And then you can't cross simplify, so
Nope.
it'd be 6/11.
there it is, right there, 6/11. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at a couple of these word ones here. They ask you some of these in your homework here, so just to make sure you know how to set it up and which way we're going with here. So number 25, say how many 1/16ths are there in 3/8? So basically what I'm asking you here is how much do I have? I have 3/8, right? Because it says inside 3/8. That's how much I have, right? And what am I doing to that? Well, I'm cutting my 3/8 into 1/16 log pieces here, is what I'm doing. I'm asking how many 1/16 fit inside of 3/8. So what am I doing? I take how much I have, and again, you'll see these in your homework, you'll see this type of stuff a little bit, but how much do I have? I have 3/8. It says how many 1/16 are there in 3/8? When I'm dividing, I take how much I have, and then what am I dividing it into? How many of these 1/16 inch strips or whatever can I get out of this? So this is my setup here. How many 1/16 are in 3/8 is just taking my 3/8 and dividing it into 1/16 long pieces. So solve it up here. Rewrite, multiply by the reciprocal. And 3/8, or wait, not 3/18, 3/8. What am I doing there? 3/8, there we go. So cross simplify, both of them divide by 8. What am I left with? There are 6 of them. How many 1/16 inch, I don't even know what S means, strips maybe, are there in a 3/8 inch long piece? There are 6 of them. And you can think about it. The thing is actually 6/16 long, right? Equivalent fraction. 3/8, 6/16. How many 1/16 are in 6/16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Dividing it into that thing there. So when you see these types of things, it's just making sure you're getting the right things in the right spots here. So I guess try number 26 and 28. Last two. So how many 1/100th strips are there in 1/10?
I think it's just how many 1/100ths are in.
I don't really know what that, or one, yeah, you could be, it's like plural, right? 1/100ths are there in 1/10?
Yeah.
And how many 1/16 yard strips can Karen cut from 3/4 yard piece of lumber?
Bro, I'm okay.
So 26 and 28.
What do you do with reciprocal when you have 3 fractions? You just
You'll have to solve it as 2 standalone problems. Or you could, well, I can show you, I'll show you a shortcut here in a second, what that would look like. Better way.
Karen. My gosh, hashtag.
So SIG, very briefly, in answer to your question down here, we don't have to solve this. I'm just 3/4 times 2/3 divided by 1/8, so to speak, right? Something like that. So I could just, again, rewrite this as a multiply. Still got 3/4. I'm still multiplying by 2/3, but here I'm not dividing by 1/8. Right. So anytime, if I got any divisions here, I can just down the road, if I was dividing by 1/2 then 2, I could just multiply and turn the whole thing into one big long thing like this, right? And then I can cross simplify anywhere I want. 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 1. And lo and behold, the answer would actually be 8 to that one right there. So, yep, I could do the same thing, multiply by reciprocals, and we covered before if there's 3 or more fractions, how you can cross simplify anywhere you want. So, kind of nifty, huh? Yeah. Okay, 26, set up the problem. Dom, solve the problem.
Okay, so you set it up, number 26, okay, so you set it up 1/10 divided by 100,
Right,
and then that goes 1/10 times 100 over 1.
yep,
Then you can cross simplify, so the 10 turns into a 1, and then 100 turns into a 10, and 10 times 1 is 10 over 1 is 10.
there it is. Yeah, well done. So again, always think about when you're dividing, how much do I have and what am I doing to it? All right, 28. So same kind of question, but with just a few more words attached to it. Jackson, how many 1/16 yard strips can Karen cut from her 3/4 yard piece of leather?
So you do 3/4 times 16 over 1 because you get the reciprocal, and then cross simplify 4 is a 1, and then 16 is a 4, and you get 12 over 1, now you get 12.
Yep, she can get 12 strips is what she can get out of that there. Right. Okay. Okay, questions?
No.
No? Okay. Well, then there we go.